Midnight.
Midnight.
Midnight. Midnight.
Midnight. Midnight. Midnight. Midnight.
Midnight.
Midnight.
Midnight. Midnight. Midnight. Midnight.
Midnight.
Midnight.
Midnight. Midnight. Midnight.
Midnight.
Midnight. Midnight. Midnight. Midnight. Midnight. Midnight. Midnight. Midnight.
Midnight.
Midnight. Midnight.
Midnight.
Midnight. Midnight.
Midnight.
Midnight. Midnight. Midnight. Midnight. Midnight.
Midnight.
I know. You may have noticed in my past few videos that I have a very slight obsession with one character in particular, and I'm finally here to talk about it. Midnite is a fusion between rabbit DNA and a cold chilling mist on a particularly dreadful night, or something like that. She was made by Cursor to be one of their elite spark hunters, alongside Bedrock, Daphne, Edge, and Kanya. Now you're probably wondering,
what makes Midnite stand out from the other cast of characters?
well, I mean, Midnite's alluring nature is initially what drew me in, but after a few deep dives into her lore, character design, personality, etc., I have found Midnite to be a much more complex character with many details that I myself admire or can relate to. Let's get the most obvious thing out of the way first. Midnite is very appealing. I mean, one Google search and you can find plenty of people who would agree with me. In comparison to the other Spark Hunters, she is much more elevated and stunning, at least in my opinion. I love her elegant attire, refined nature, and not to mention she has a pretty face. I love her beautiful hair. It reminds me of a blue flame with how it flows, and reflects her mood. Lastly, her makeup is a cherry on top. To me, she is perfect in every way. I suppose in other words, she's my type. I know I sound like a lovesick fool, and that's because I am one.
Midnight, the rabbit that people have a crush on for some reason.
I previously mentioned her elegant, sophisticated attire, and her character really plays into that aristocrat vibe. Of course, we have the aforementioned dress, and the fan that she carries, but she also behaves in such a haughty, elevated way. Referencing her character concept art sheet, her expression is always pretty controlled, except for when she's angry. She does a pretty crap job at controlling that. And her features are much less zany and exaggerated like the other rabbits. She has short petite ears, a smaller mouth, and dainty wrists. All of those features contribute to both her beauty and elevated look. She also has caused her to be very arrogant and haughty, like I said before. She looks down upon others and hardly does any work herself. In other words, she's indolent. Something I can relate to. Beneath all those controlled emotions, Midnite herself is also very melancholic. It isn't exactly explained as to what the cause was, however usually melancholy can be caused by nostalgia? I don't know. And the only connection I can make between that and the game's lore is Edge leaving the Spark Hunters. Midnite herself claims that her and Edge used to be friends before she ghosted her. Get it? Because ghosted, because Midnite kind of looks like a ghost.
Real friends, stick around!
Real friends, stick around!
Midnite looks like a ghost, and you'd probably assume she is one. However, Edge claims she isn't a ghost.
Not a ghost.
The context of the end doesn't exactly help, as Captain Orion calls Midnite the ghost of pristine peaks, to which Edge corrects him by saying, not a ghost. And then, she's not a ghost, she's one of Curse's Spark Hunters. Which makes me wonder if she meant she's not just some random ghost, meaning she is a ghost in actuality, or if she literally is just saying that she isn't one. What further confuses me is all the signs pointing to her spectral form. Her whole Pristine Peaks area reminds me of a haunted manor, and her boss themes have like a ghostly choir in it, sort of like a dreadful vibe. Speaking of her boss themes, they really complement her sophisticated and ghostly appearance. So I think it's really cool that Midnite's theme reflects those old classical symphonies. The instruments used all convey this feeling of dread mixed with beauty, and it's pretty poetic in a way. I like ghost characters, and I also really like elevated, more classy characters in media. So what do you get when you mix those two together? Forgot to throw this in there, sorry. There we go. All in all, Midnite is a very alluring, elegant, yet indolent and prideful character who I can't help but admire. I am also officially the Midnite guy, and I will be referred to as such, for no other Midnite fan has done much research and confessed their feelings publicly.
Next up we have is the rabbit I don't have a crush on. Midnite.
Well, I guess a lot of confess their feelings publicly. Whatever. I'm the Midnite guy, that's me.
Honestly, I really love Midnite. Not the way y'all think.
Yeah, well, I love her the way exactly y'all think. Beat that, buddy. Yeah. Thank you for watching. If you have any Midnite or Mario + Rabbids questions, let me know down in the comments, and I will see you next time. I'm just gonna go on a little ramble about Midnite. So her boss fight is really fun in my opinion. It's really easy though. For me personally, I was playing on hard mode recently. I was able to kill her in one turn pretty much on all turns, except for this one time when I messed up. But that was on me. All you really gotta do is just sprint over to her, so I feel like she needs more HP. Or maybe I'm just that goated, I don't know. I am pretty awesome. That's a problem. But on the topic of her boss fight, the way that she attacks really reflects her character, in my opinion. That's the way I see it. She chooses to attack from afar, and she even buffs her minions, really just playing into that whole indolent vibe of not wanting to do the work and having others do it for her. Also, the topic of her boss fight, her song, one of the producers for the music actually said that she's his favorite boss. So, you know, that's cool. She's my favorite boss, that's for sure. They kept trying to do her song over and over again until they got it right, because I guess he really wanted to make sure that they hit the mark with it, and I think they did a good job. What else can I talk about? All things Midnite, let me think. Midnite isn't a ghost. I think I said that before. She just looks like one. I think that's kind of weird in terms of like just why. Although it makes sense in a gameplay vibe, because I don't think the peekaboos from Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, I don't think those are technically ghosts either, which Midnite is essentially just like a boss version of that, because she teleports around the map just like them. She shoots from afar. They're actually they both have like a blue hue, at least like the default peekaboo. At least the default peekaboo and Midnite kind of share that similarity. I've been mentioning Midnite a lot in my videos, not so much recently, but you know, I feel like it's something that just keeps happening. I don't know. I'm actually planning on buying a Midnite plush. I'm gonna commission like a $100 plush to make one. She's gonna be real one day. I'm gonna be able to hold her in my hands, and it'll be tough, you know? I hardly see any coverage for like the Mario plus Rabbids games in general, so I really think that I'm just like Midnite's #1 fan, you know, because you don't see anyone on social media, at least I don't, and I get videos of Midnite recommended to me, surprisingly. I was on TikTok, you know, scrolling like normal, and then a Midnite video showed up. I look in the comments, everyone's saying the same thing. I'm not gonna, I guess I'll say it. They're talking about how fine she is, low-key. Everyone's saying that same thing. I'm like looking at it like, yep, okay, yeah. Nobody, other than like in like comment section, and few and far between times, nobody's just open about it, I feel like bringing her up in like random moments where it doesn't even have to do with her. I literally, at school, people will talk about like Midnite as in the time. I initially think they're talking about the character. That's how bad it is, or maybe how good it is. Oh, maybe I'm on the spectrum, because like usually when you're like that, you have some sort of character or thing that you hyperfixate on. That's this for me, I guess. I don't know. Hopefully, you know, it's a big thing to go on the internet and like make yourself, you know, act a fool like how I'm doing right now. So hopefully y'all receive this well. Don't make fun of me. I will cry if you make fun of me. I can't handle that. I'm actually really proud of the thumbnail. I made it in class. So imagine if someone saw me making it. That'd be great. I actually made the thumbnail before the video. That's sometimes what happens when it comes to LBC videos. I'll make the thumbnail first, because I'm so excited to record it. I also wrote the script to the video in class, so you know, that's cool. Probably look like a loser, more so than I already am. You got any other video ideas? Like, if you want me to talk about other Mario plus Rabbids characters, I'll go do the research. I mean, I don't mind talking about all y'all's favorite characters, you know, making like these like little short video essays on them, you know. I'll do it. I got a lot of time. I ain't got much going on. I've seen online people saying how like they should make another Mario plus Rabbids games where you play as the Spark Hunters. That'd be so cool. I mean, obviously I only want that for one reason, but like I feel like in general a game where you play as the villains would be cool. Like that'd be different. That'd be tough, you know? If they even make another one. Who knows if they're going to, you know, Ubisoft. We're saying that they wish they would have held on to the Switch 2 to make it. But, you know, what was I going to say? I was going to say something really cool. Oh, that's right. Never search up Midnite on Google without, if you value your life. People draw her so horribly. And I don't mean to like make fun of how people draw, but like, she's a rabbit. She ain't got none of that stuff y'all be adding. See, I like her without that stuff. You know, we don't need any of that stuff. She's fine as is. There's this really cool fan art that I found. It's my favorite one, actually. Maybe I'll put it on screen. Make sure you credit them, future LBC, if you do put it on screen. I don't know who made it right now, but you're really awesome, whoever did it. Best Midnite fan art I've ever seen. Maybe one day I can make my own. That'd be cool. Anything else for me to say? I think that's it. If you stayed to the end to maybe listen to this, that's very cool. I will see you later.